Hello, mentors. Hope you all had an awesome weekend. We do have another week of spring breaks coming. This week we've got a few that have started this week, and then I know next week we've got some as well. So definitely keep checking below in the email to make sure that you have those dates so you're not showing up when school is out. And then we also wanted to remind you all, I think we've been talking with a number of you all about these surveys that we've been sending out. These are surveys we're sending to mentors who have been mentoring for at least around a year. So if you don't get one, don't worry, you'll get one another time. But these are just asking questions around kind of the what you've observed with mentees, specifically around spiritual topics. So we're just trying to kind of gather some data on kind of what that experience has been like for you and then. So if you've gotten that link, please fill it out. We've already got about 20 or so that have come through. So we'd love to get more of your all's perspective on that very soon.
Hey mentors, it's Mia. I am in Paris, France right now, but I wanted to let you guys know that I am thinking about you even when I'm away, and I just appreciate all that you guys do. And even on vacation, I'm just so thankful that I feel like I can leave all of you JCPS mentors to deal with your groups. You guys just are so pursuant of these students, and you guys have texted me stories and just encouraging things already being gone. So know that it is such a joy for me to read when I'm away. And it just continues to encourage me to know that you guys are just great mentors and volunteers. So I hope you have a good rest of your week, and I'm excited to catch up with you guys when I'm back. Bye!
Hey friends, I hope that you guys are doing well. Today we're just going to think about in Genesis 32 when Jacob wrestles with the Lord. We oftentimes think about the blessing that Jacob received from the Lord, but I think it's also important to be mindful that he had a limp for the rest of his life, and that is a physical reminder of God and his sovereign wisdom, that he uses things to point us to him, to remind us that we are not always capable of the things that we want to be capable of on our own, and also that trials and sufferings and things that might hinder us from what we think would be reaching our full potential can be used for his glory. So when we think about Jacob wrestling with God, he was not only blessed, but he also had a permanent reminder of God and his wrestling. In J.I. Packer's book, Knowing God, Packer explains that Jacob fought with God, and that it was God's great providence that he gave him a limp to remind him of his need of the Lord. This leads us to ask ourselves, what am I relying on besides the Lord? Is it my personality or my position or my ministry or my financial security, or maybe something if people like me or what do people think about me? Packer writes that always and in everything, God is all wise. We don't need to understand all of the details of wrestling with God or why God may have given him that limp, but we can seek to have humble hearts and seek to see the Lord's face throughout either our suffering or our misunderstandings. God's grace is more than sufficient. He also says that we need not look farther than God's grace when we are walking through these things. So as we're seeking to love our students, there's often times where we might see our own inadequacies or shortcomings, and we can seek to see how the Lord could be using those things as pointers to the need of grace in our lives, and also hopefully we could talk to our students about that. Thank you.
This week's resource is one of changing your mindset. And so you guys can really use this in many different ways in your own, whatever makes more sense to you within your group. You can use a piece of paper. You can use a poster board. You will need strips of paper. I would get some bland paper, even if it's gray. It could be like an off cream white color, and then some colored strips of paper. You can do this as an activity with your group. If you split the board in half or the paper in half, just draw a line down the center. We're going to talk about how you can have a growth mindset instead of a fixed mindset. And so our kids tend to talk to themselves in a way that's not so great, and maybe really negative, like, this is too hard for me. Or I can't do this, or I've made a mistake. And we really desire to try to help them shift that so they can be healthy, successful human beings in life. And so teaching them how to have a growth mindset, instead of saying, I made a mistake, and kind of wallowing in that, we can shift it to say, mistakes help me learn. We all learn from the things that we do that are not so hot. Or saying, this is too hard. if I put a little bit more time and effort into something, I might be able to do this. Or instead of saying, I can't do it, maybe I need to try a different way. Maybe this way just doesn't work for me. And it will really help your kids to open up their minds to think and to talk to themselves in a more positive manner, with the hopes that it will help them throughout their journey in life. I've even, with my groups, I've even come up and asked them, what do you want to be when you grow up? Are you going to have to learn different skills and try new things that you may not necessarily be so hot at when you first get into it? And they're like, well, yeah. So, okay, so if we tell ourselves that we can't do it, we're going to have a hard time. And especially if we are someone who comes from a lifestyle where we don't really have many people in our corner that are cheering us on, it's really important that we, meditate on how we can talk to ourselves better. And we can shift that mindset around, possibly helping them to grow. And they will have their own selves talking themselves up for things in life when stuff gets really hard. So I hope you guys find this useful. Let us know if you use it. Send us pictures if you would like, and let us know how it works for you.